Hey everyone, and today I'm going to talk about the general strike bug, which has affected recent versions of Dwarf Fortress. Now, this is a pretty rare bug, but it is recurring, and the community is hunting out an answer right now because it's a weird one, and it is very, very, very frustrating when you get it. So I'm going to actually include some resources, some links that you can do your own research through, and you'll see that people talk about like keeping your saves, like we are actively researching this bug. So let me just do what I can to contribute to that. So I found the coolest embark that I've ever found, and that's what motivated me to save this embark. This is a beautiful, beautiful embark, but it was affected by this bug. And all I can tell you about how it happened is that this is actually the first map that I've ever played, and I've been playing since 2016. This is the first map I ever played where my dwarves petitioned specifically for a temple for some exotic god, for some some of these resources are saying that like foreign gods, like if it's an elvish god or something, seem to trigger this bug, that it's something about like priesthoods and temple complexes. Like if your dwarves are very, very religious, that seems to be a lead. At least some people are saying that seems to be a lead for why this happens, and that was the case in mine. This was I've never had a map like this where the dwarves were like, we want to worship this specific god, and you have to make it happen. So that seems like maybe a lead for why this happened. What else? So once I realized that it was happening, so I was really trying to take care of my dwarves and keep them happy. So I made the temple complex. I made guild halls that they requested. I made a tavern, hospital, of course, barracks, archery range. I had all the zones set up in this case. And so it was kind of heartbreaking because the first fix that people recommend, and I made a community post about this, the first fix that kind of works is to disable all zones, because so let me back up a little bit and just describe what the general strike bug does. So you will notice at some point that when you go to your labor list of what each dwarf is doing, that they are all socializing, praying, pondering, doing things like pondering is like a library activity, but they're all doing any activity, any fun activity they can in any zone that they can. And they're ignoring your work orders. They're completely ignoring, they're prioritizing having fun, and that's why it's called a general strike. That's what it seems like the dwarves are doing. They're just refusing to work. But so it disables all the works, and all of your dwarves start to congregate in these zones. And you can alleviate the problem, but not exactly fix it by removing all zones. But that's a problem. You need hospitals. You need these zones. But so, like I wrote in my community post, I thought that I had solved it, or, at least got my dwarves kind of maybe working again, because if you take away all the zones and you assign and everyone does this task, like smooth stone or gather plants, they will all go do that now. But I've confirmed now, I believe, and I'm going to be careful because I'm 1 for 2 on glitch videos that I made in terms of being, exactly correct about what was happening. So that's 50%. So I'm really trying to be careful as I report this one so that I can, be proud of this documentation of the glitch. But so having said that, what seems to be happening in my case is that removing zones, which is already problematic, will at least convince them to start doing, everyone does this, tasks, but they will still not do like the lowest priority chores as far as I can find under any circumstances. So for example, when you're watching this footage, you'll see that I keep hovering over this dump zone, which, you might remember from the last video. I cannot seem to get most dwarves to haul, to either dump trash or to move items, which is, I think traditionally a very low priority. It's usually done when there's nothing more specific for dwarves to do. And in this case, the dwarves will actually sit there with no job. When there's no zones, they will actually sit there with no job rather than sort my stockpile. So I ended up giving up on this. I didn't give up on this embark because I had to save this embark. So what I ended up doing was actually abandoning this fortress and then reclaiming it with 7 new dwarves. And I'm just going to hope it doesn't happen again. Like I said, these dwarves requested a specific temple, which I made for them, but then that's when the problem seemed to happen. And then taking away didn't fix it. Part of this footage is me, someone recommended that if you can just make a big enough temple that services all gods, that might work, I think in the Reddit link that I'm leaving. And then someone says, actually, no, it's the opposite. General temple is going to be worse. And that's what you're watching right now in the footage, if I'm still synced up, is every single one of my dwarves runs into this temple to continue the general strike. Okay, so let me just read to you from a few of these resources that I found. These are pretty helpful. This is, this is ongoing, where we figure out this bug together. But so our Reddit source from our Dwarf Fortress says, PSA, fix for general strike bug. Workers stop doing stuff. So it turns out everyone stops doing stuff because they were unable to pray for too long to a god you don't have a temple for. And general temples don't cut it, apparently. Gradual fix for a gradual bug. Use new Dwarf Fortress release to find which temples are needed most. So Dwarf Therapist is a mod that is also, I believe, part of the DF Hack suite of mods. So I haven't installed that yet. I've been trying to play this, just clean Steam version, but in the future I might have to. I'm still doing clean, no mods for the moment because, like I said, I abandoned this fortress and started it fresh with 7 new dwarves. But we'll see. And then the first comment on this thread says, sometimes the problem is the opposite. You know how it be in Dwarf Fortress, right? So he says, sometimes the problem is the opposite. They spend too much time praying to God X when they're that's hard to say. They spend too much time praying to God X when their unmet need is for praying to God Y, which is a different temple. Apparently, the I urgently need to pray God code is triggering, but the routine that picks where they need to pray and to whom isn't as specific as it should be to prioritize their worst need. This is too much for me. I'm starting to lose track of what this guy's describing. It says, but maybe, you can have a look at this yourself and get a sense of it. He says it may be picking the nearest applicable temple or the most valuable or other unknown factors. So the other fix is to try to temporarily disable all specific temples and just have one nice general one active to see if it gets them unstuck. That's what I tried in this footage, and helped, but didn't fix it because there's no hauling and there's no trash dumping, which I need. So anyway, you can check out this thread. It's people just talking about it. The other one was a Steam thread that links to Bay 12 and basically specifically requests that you send bug reports to Bay 12. So this is from December. It says, spreading the awareness of the general strike bug. In caps, for those of you experiencing this, keep your saves. Which I'll do. I will actually try to submit the save if Bay 12 is still collecting on it, or if anybody else would like this save. I'm not protective of my saves. So it says, for those of you experiencing this, keep your saves. Below is the link to report bugs. Since this bug is difficult to reproduce, it is good to keep saves. They can be sent to Bay 12 via the site linked below, and then we have a link. We don't know the cause of the general strike, so it may in fact be multiple bugs. It might be best to upload and let whoever manages the bug tracker to sort through them. So yeah, we're waiting for a more specific answer from the devs, at least as far as I know, as far as I found. And it says, it appears in some cases dwarves up to the entire colony will cease labors even when they are enabled when meeting zones exist. This is affecting many people and tends to happen after violent events in the game. That's interesting. I would say not in my case. I think I had enemies completely turned off. I don't believe anyone has been in combat. It's the worst things that have happened to these dwarves is they've seen dead bodies occasionally, and maybe they get hurt in an accident. So for what that's worth, that wasn't the case. The thing that resonated with me was the thing talking about it being a temple thing. And like this post says, it can be multiple sources as well. So in my case, I think it was a religious fervor thing that started it. But so this continues. It gives a shout out to Blind, who is, one of the King Dwarf Fortress YouTubers, definitely an inspiration to me. But so they mentioned Blind was dealing with this issue on Steam, as seen here, and where it ended the fort. So it ended the fort. He couldn't actually fix his. Okay, so that makes me feel better about restarting mine to save this embark, because it really is. It's tough to get them out of it. And they continue. They say, it's been ending forts and playthroughs for a lot of people. People in Sal's chat, Blind's chat, have been reporting issues. I am amazed that it hasn't been brought up more, but people seem to be trying to explain away this bug. I've been playing Dwarf Fortress for a long time, and I assure you that a bug requiring the deletion of meeting zones is real, and it's affecting long-term players as well as new ones. So, yeah, so it's real. I'll let you guys check out these resources yourself. Let me know if you've had experience with this bug yourself. That's really helpful. In a small community like Dwarf Fortress, anecdotes are useful and important when it comes to, tracking down what's going on. So definitely leave those comments. If you made it this far, please like and subscribe, guys. The channel's growing really good. We're getting really close to the 500 subscriber live stream. Pumped for that. Thank you guys for liking and subscribing and commenting and just keeping me motivated to do these videos, basically every day. And that's it. Don't even really wish me luck, because I already gave up. Like I said, I abandoned the fort and I put 7 new dwarves in there. So I'm picking up, when you fall, what do we do when we fall off the horse, Master Wayne? We get back up. So that's all I got for today, guys. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you in the next one.